Who was watching this? Gaming in the Clinton years. Generic intro in the That Goes Moo here, back with another Caddicarus video, and today we're doing the comical world of the 287 worst game reviews ever, which I'm guessing is going to be like game reviews, like when people be like, hey, we're going to give this game such score out of 100 or out of 10 or something like that, and I guess this is going to be instances where the review does not match up with the gameplay. It's going to be quite interesting. It's a little bit of a longer video, 40 minutes long. I enjoy that, though. You all have shown a lot of support for these Caddicarus videos. There's thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you've been enjoying them. You can check out my reaction to the last one, which was his first 24 videos. I'll leave my reaction to that right up there. Also linked down below in the description. And if I keep doing Caddicarus videos and you all keep watching them, then I guess I'll make a Caddicarus playlist for my channel so you can binge watch through all of them in the future. But shout out to the patrons because they got all the videos a day early, and I could not do this if it was not for them. So shout out to the patrons. I do read all your comments, whether you're patron or not, whether you subscribe or not. But we're also like, I don't know, like 1,100 or 1,000 subscribers away from 100,000 subscribers. So if you're not already subscribed, I would greatly appreciate it if you were. I've been doing a Caddicarus video every single week for the past couple weeks, and just shout out to the patrons because they're the ones that were telling me that I should, were requesting that I do this. So I do read all your comments, whether you're patron or whether you subscribe or not, but please go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. I'm really excited to jump into this. Most of these games I'm gonna have never played before in my entire life, but it's gonna be quite interesting to see what the reviews say. But let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright. Oh, the last video was his first 24 videos. Lockdown day 39. Oh, well. God, I need to get a Switch.
We just need one more thing to tie the room together.
A plant. Oh, that's a urinal.
Hang on. In Animal Crossing, there's a urinal. Game theory. My villager has a wang. I think I'm playing too many gens. Can I go outside?
Nope. Bricks.
Oh, yeah. The world is still bricks. Well, if I have to be stuck indoors for another...
Yep.
3 years, I might as well catch up on my online video viewing.
But what to look at? I mean, have you ever stepped back for a second and realized how gargantuan the internet is without even considering the size of the deep web?
Oh no!
With such
Wait,
a
what?
Available to
what
happened?
happened?
The internet, where does
There's a
one
couple
start
what happened
when they're
reactions.
looking for something new? Me? I look around on Twitter for those accounts dedicated to posting nothing but out of context clips. If I see some clips from things I've never seen before and they
That's
pique
me
my
always.
then that's the next thing I want to watch. I mean, yeah, most of these accounts are for kids shows that I really couldn't care less about, or old TV shows which are really difficult to start binge watching because they're hard to find online.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo out of context, Sonic Boom out of context.
Sonic Boom.
Hannah Montana. But every so often,
never
you
watched
find a
Disney.
pot of gold. And no, I'm not talking about out of context Saudi football or out of context Mamma Mia. Oh,
what?
I'm talking about out of context accounts of YouTube.
I actually watched Hamilton last night for the first time ever. First time ever watching Broadway.
I'm always in the market for binging on a new YouTuber.
Is the movie
especially
thing?
with
Bricks.
that going on, and it's actually the out of context Chadtronic Twitter account that got me watching him in the first place. Sometimes all you need are a few brilliant out of context clips, and that says all you need to know about a new channel that you may or may not like. It cuts out all of the time and energy that you need to invest in searching through thousands of channels and thousands of videos that they'll have on their channels in order to find something that you want to see. Out of context clips for me are a brilliant advertising tool for new channels.
This
very similar to
one
reactions.
particular Twitter account that really stood out to me during one of those days that I was looking for the next piece of internet media that I wanted to binge. And all it took was one single image to get me hooked.
There needs to be a Duck Goes Moo out of context. Rugrats, overall A.
This, I desperately had to find the show that this review score grid came from. Can you blame me? It spoke to me. It was hungry for my eyes.
Oh! And after a little bit of research, I managed to find the origin of this image. It was from a YouTube channel known as Navigator.
Okay.
And on that channel, they hosted a show known as Gaming in the Clinton Years.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? That's been referenced before. Wait, he talked about that in the last video, didn't he?
I think I've ever seen, but on the Navigator channel, they decided to make it an acronym. So the start of every review video is titled Gitsy, which sounds like a Russian fizzy drink.
It does.
Gitsy. It's good for your spleen.
And you know you're in for something special when the names of these reviews are gems like Mask, the game, and my personal favorite, Ocarina of Time.
I still never played Zelda.
I was incredibly lucky to even find this channel in the first place because, you see, even though I found these out-of-context YouTube channel clips of the show, this was never supposed to be a YouTube channel at all, and the show wasn't even originally called Gaming in the Clinton years. It was originally an independent, low-budget public access TV show known as Flights of Fantasy, a video game discussion, interview, and review show created by this lovely crumpet known as George Wood in the land of Mary. He also had a few
Maryland,
other sometimes did reviews, but those ones...
The basic strategy for dogfighting is an attack from behind.
Aren't very good. The reviews that George himself presented all throughout the 90s have become slightly infamous for being some of the worst of all time. Not necessarily for the opinions he had.
Super Mario World 2 is far better than the less than pleasing Super Mario World.
Sometimes, but for the schizophrenic writing that changes the subject every 5 seconds, tons of completely false statements, strange line delivery.
A ride on a tiger sounds like a lot of fun. Well, it is.
The constant contradictions.
That is one annoying flaw. So much for realism. Realism is getting boring in video games.
The fact that he could rarely finish any single game he reviewed because of how bad he was at playing them, so just used cheat codes to skip to the ending.
The following password will get you into the next level in death.
What?
Jokes that fall so flat they make you shrivel up.
I mean, Devil May Cry 4. I'm giving up on that game. I'm starting 5 this Saturday.
And extremely
I'll also be streaming today.
Comments that make absolutely no sense to
7 Days to Die, my
Tomb
friends.
Raider 3, create a storyline
Could be a blood
in which
moon.
Lara gets breast cancer.
Oh, wait, that was that clip.
What have I become?
We guarantee the gaming world would be shocked, stunned, and moved at the effort to make Lara's character more meaningful.
You know that Lara Croft? The millionaire explorer with handguns and a mysterious family history?
Yeah.
I know how to make her character more meaningful.
Cancer.
Give her a tumor!
The Navigator YouTube channel
Just
stands
one?
for the National Academy of Video Game Trade Reviewers, which is really bloody stretching it for an acronym. And all they did was archive all of the individual game reviews that were a part of the original TV show and re-upload them under the new title of...
Gaming in the Clinton years.
Gaming in the Clinton. If it weren't for this channel, then all of the reviews George Wood aired while wearing his PJs would be completely lost media.
What did that watch?
And I'm glad that they aren't lost, because these reviews
Mario Kart 64 is fun to play.
I played that.
Except when you're losing.
are a sight to behold.
Very interesting.
All you need to know about how great these reviews are is that they were originally from a show called Flights of Fantasy and then got renamed to Gaming in the Clinton,
which is arguably a better name.
Why that name? Why that logo? What has Billy Big Boy Clinton got to do with anything video game related? Did he endorse this show personally? Was this some kind of weird propaganda?
Is this
Why
what he was doing in the Oval Office?
The logo for a video game show.
What the hell could be next? Washing in the Lincoln years?
And what about that pricky little theme
What about
song?
going to
I
the
don't know
theater
if
in
it's
the
an
Lincoln
original
years?
or if it's from a game or something, but god
Movies
damn
in
it,
the
it
Lincoln
matches
years.
The absurdity of the
Wait a
title
minute.
card perfectly.
Dude. Do you think Bill Clinton has heard of this by now?
Just think for a second. You're making a game review show. You name it Gaming in
give
the
me
Clinton
the
years.
best, just
You
obscure.
plaster William Smirk staring right at you, and then include the most simplistic yet ominous 8-bit tune of all time that gives the impression of Clinton stalking you.
It does, yeah.
And the title of this video today isn't lying to you. When I said I was looking for my next binge watch, I meant it. Which is why I plonked my ass down, got comfortable, and forgot I needed to wash that super glue off my pants as I watched 287 of these reviews.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
How many are they?
287 of possibly the worst game reviews of all time. And as far as I could tell, this is
some of them
every
really
review
short.
available from Clinton's laptop.
He watched every single episode?
Today. By the way, 3 of these weren't presented by George, but you still got to see the plaque on Billy's teeth.
These allegations.
And you'd think that's all I would have to say about the history
Nah.
of this show. But then you go to the Navigator YouTube channel and notice that there aren't 287 videos on there.
There's more.
There's 1,322.
I mean, there's
so
like
how many Clintons
how
are
many on
hiding
this
in there?
channel?
If you know
a lot.
anything about
a lot.
me, I may not be stubborn, but I am extremely stubborn. So I went into the upload history of this channel and scrolled through all of the 1,322 videos to figure out what the rest of the videos were.
I
And
think
what
this channel
discovered
has
is
like
just as interesting as the
3,600.
reviews themselves.
Enter the Gecko is Gex's second Gex.
Gex?
game. That will get you.
We're playing Gex?
Okay, maybe the reviews are better.
Check out the Scott DeWaz
Out of
reactions.
the 1,322
There's a playlist on my channel for
videos,
those.
we already know that 287 are reviews, so that's easy enough. And then I counted a total of 767 videos dedicated to random B-roll, hints and tips, and occasional interview clips that have nothing to do with the reviews. You know, random cutscenes, endings, walkthroughs,
What?
intro cinematics, behind the scenes, promotion reels, stuff like that. And considering that most of these videos are less than 20 seconds long, most of these are
okay,
really
that
not worth
makes sense.
talking about.
Illusion of Gaia. One of the best stories ever for a video game.
He just walked into the fire.
Please turn this into a movie. Be forewarned, the pig sacrifice is a shocking, dramatic twist.
To eat or not to eat?
No joke, that's the whole video.
The more lines you make, the more
Tetris.
points and surprises will come your way.
Surprises?
You get surprised when you play Tetris. What's there to be surprised about? Oh my god, it's a block! I've never seen one of them before! I mean, there's even one video here titled
Metal Gear.
Solid
I still need to play this
Psycho-Mantis.
franchise.
And with it being a walkthrough video, you'd think that it would give you hints and tips to finding and beating Psycho Mantis, right? No! What are you?
What a Psycho
The
Man.
floppy old sack? In fact, what you actually get is 3 minutes of George telling you what happens in the story, and then you get 10 seconds at the end of the video explaining Psycho Mantis.
Just put your controller in the second controller port on the PlayStation. If
And
you do
what-
this, he'll go down easily.
That's it, that's all he says, in a video titled Metal Gear Solid Psycho Mantis. And the gameplay
I
on
mean,
display here is quite
Can't
frankly
say you
embarrassing.
didn't get what you expected.
He
Oh,
wasn't even
but you can't even
trying.
get
With
caught?
the DualShock
Oh.
controller, you will actually feel his heart attack as the controller vibrates.
Yeah, help me!
Yep, this is comparable.
Call an ambulance! What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, false alarm.
It's just a
It
controller.
was just my controller shaking. Oh, good. I thought you were having a heart attack. So did I. It's exactly the same thing.
Oh look, it's a load of kids. Let's ask them some questions. Tell me, youth, what was your favorite part of Donkey Kong Country?
Pretty cool and how they also made
what?
Donkey Kong.
What did they make
Your
him?
mother should have swallowed you.
It's a great game where they have all the great graphics.
You know when people
Great
said that video
graphics.
games rot your
Dedicated
brain?
Wham.
I think they were right.
But you didn't see this coming, did you? I've actually been secretly timing you all for the last few minutes, which is more than enough time for you to realise that 1,322 videos minus 767 unrelated videos
Is-
minus 287 reviews
Is
leaves
how
us
much?
with 268 videos unaccounted for.
And what are those
So
videos?
what Billy Willies are hiding in those ones?
I don't know.
At this point, I had no clue how deep the rabbit hole was going down, but I was too far down to climb back out, so I kept on digging. And this is
I wonder
what
how many
discovered.
subscribers
A
this
lot
channel
of
has
these
now.
remaining unaccounted videos are in fact duplicate uploads. No, not the
Huh?
same uploads added to the same playlist more than once accidentally. I mean that they're exactly the same videos uploaded twice to the
But why is that
same
one 2
channel
seconds
with
longer?
unique URLs.
Now, to be a little bit fair, a lot of these duplicate uploads are actually different video qualities, which is probably why they were re-uploaded.
That
in the
makes
first place.
sense.
But usually the second uploads only manage to improve from 240p to 360p.
Ooh.
So that's basically the same jump
That's a
as filming
50%.
with a potato to filming with a peeled potato.
And as I was shifting through this muck, I decided to count exactly how many duplicates
never had a
were
baked
uploaded
potato
to the
before.
Navigator channel and write them all down as I was going. As you can see, there was one for Mega Man Legends.
He's putting more
one for
effort into this channel than the
64, one for
creator.
Borders 3. Not too many, all things considered.
Wait, probably not, but
And then I found more.
No,
it keeps
These are
going.
not the ransom demands of a kidnapper. This is how many exact copy duplicate videos I was able to count and write down as I was searching through the 1,322 uploads of the Navigator
Bro's
channel.
bored.
Do you know how many there were in total? 268.
So yeah, I led you a little astray just then. Those remaining 268 videos I mentioned earlier, 268 videos unaccounted for. They're all duplicate uploads. I feel like I
All
found the
of them.
Zodiac Killer. How does this channel exist?
Even more
I don't
insane
know.
is that a few of the reviews on the channel were duplicated not just once, but sometimes twice, like with Donkey Kong Country. You know, just in
What
case
quality
you
is
didn't agree
it?
with this review,
Did it- did-
you could always check out the same review again 2 more
Look at all
times.
those
It
views.
gets even more confusing when you see some of the games have 4 of the same videos each, but 2 of each of those videos are the same reviews as the others, but longer. Mario 64's review is copied, but then so is Mario 64 Extended. Bubsy 1's
Extended
review is
is 1
copied, but
second.
then so is Bubsy 1's other review, which, no joke, is exactly the same video, but with 1 added sentence worth of video length. There's other videos talking about completely different things to do with the same game that have very similar names, but with added brackets that have no duplicates.
Nice.
There's a Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel review that's really short, and a much longer one that isn't titled as Extended,
shout out
but
the
has the
squirrel with a
publisher's name in
gun.
brackets so that you know the difference. They did a countdown video of the best racing games of 1999, forgot to talk about the sports game, so just re-uploaded the racing list countdown with a sports countdown stapled on the end. There are multiple playlists on the channel that miss out loads of reviews of the official show the playlist is for, and include videos that have nothing to do with anything. Some of the reviews are 14 minutes, where others are as long as 30 seconds. There's a review here for Marvin missions, but then there's a duplicate upload named Daffy Duck the Marvin mission.
Why is it called Daffy
Review, no
Duck?
matter if it's an original or a duplicate, begins with that same bloody Mix this all together and you're left with a channel that's about as clean as measles.
So to be more accurate, in order for me to check which reviews on the channel were indeed duplicates, I ended up watching not just 287, but in total 555 videos. I know, I should have stopped at number...
Yes.
402, but I needed to be sure.
Even better, if you check the first ever uploads made to the channel, you'll see that the Super Mario 64 review is actually number 386.
Wait, what do you mean?
So all of those 287 reviews I watched for this video, that isn't even all of them. No
There's
one knows
more.
what happened to them. George Wood is the Bigfoot of the video game industry.
What?
Let me
Did they
make
just
this
not have them
perfectly
saved?
clear, though. Any jokes I make today at George's expense are not meant in malice whatsoever. I genuinely love this show precisely for how bad it is. This is not a hate campaign, and I don't want anybody to harass anyone over this video. Besides, not every single one of these reviews has something worth talking about in them anyway, either because of their length, because nothing funny happens in them, or because they're just not that very interesting. But plenty of these are gold.
Watch this cool effect.
Does...
Shall we watch a few then?
We were kind of hoping to see mannequin piss in the background.
Okay, I'm already regretting it.
What?
Anyway, no amount of urine can make this game viable.
Viable or viable?
So let's start off light. In this review of Chrono Trigger, George decides to not review the game at all, and instead just tell you how
gameplay?
to finish like 5 of the quests, and then spends the next 6 minutes showing you random parts of the game.
You can get some
Did he,
food
like,
and
get-
listen to Marl call you a pig.
Did he get
The next
assigned this
event, however,
position?
is not funny.
He even does the same
And
with Final
just
Fantasy VI's review, which barely reviews the game
didn't
at
know
all,
what he was
and just
doing
walks you through
kinda
the main
deal?
plot points.
Like-
Soldiers knock on the door, demanding to enter.
Or with Spider-Man and
Someone
Venom
is like,
Maximum
hey,
Carnage,
we gotta
where there's
do
no
something about
review at
video
all,
games.
But they still decided to
You.
name it after the reviews and not call it B-roll. I mean, these reviews may be useless, but at least it's better than... In this review of A Bug's Life, our good friend George complains a lot about the seed growing system being bad, while constantly failing this jump, resetting the seed that he needs to make the jump, and then not throwing the seed closer to the gap that he can't make it across.
Hello? Hello? Ants can crawl anywhere. They don't need mushroom trampolines.
Yes, you're right. And you know what? Bandicoots don't wear trousers.
You know what
What
I
is
hate
a-
most about a
Bandicoots
video
aren't
game?
real,
When
right?
the control is too responsive.
The control is overreactive.
Yeah, when I press a button, I want the game to do something 2 seconds later.
I want to do something
Check out this
unsuspected.
here. If you click on the
like,
Bloody Raw 2
unexpected.
review, what do you think you get? You get a review of Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, of course. And then 5 seconds, I repeat, 5 seconds of a Bloody Raw 2 review.
Many of the same problems plague Bloody Roar 2, so we'll just move on to Mortal Kombat 4.
I'm sad that I lack the imagination to make this up. It's better than this review of Devil Dice,
This
though,
is
because
Dice.
there isn't
It's
a review
just
at all.
Dice.
Just the intro how to play cinematic with a scoreboard just splatted on the screen. Come on, you can't do that. What do you think of the game, George? Let me into that broad and
do we
manly
care?
head of yours. Or at least let me sit on it. Your hair looks like a sofa. Ooh, what's this? A Final Fight 3 review? Except no, because all he does is say,
The game is not that hot, and neither is the ending, but we thought you might want to see it anyway.
The game isn't good, and neither is the ending. Now here's the ending. Whee!
Brave Fencer Mushashi.
Excuse me, George.
Huh?
What was that?
Brave Fencer Mushashi.
I'm
What?
sorry, George. Could you say that again? I missed it.
Brave Fencer Mushashi.
Oh,
I
of
don't-
course,
I-
that's
what is
my
he saying?
Favorite game. I love Brave Fencer Mushashi.
in one of his more famous videos talking about Castlevania
Famous?
Symphony of the Night, there's more to pick apart here than pulled pork.
With no in-game cinemas or anything,
You know, except for the plentiful voice acting?
What is a man?
character building RPG elements is unique and impressive, but almost unnoticeable in terms of the effect on gameplay.
Okay, first
What?
of all, how could you possibly say it's impressive when you think it does nothing? And secondly, did we play the same game?
We got far
I've
into
never
the
played
game,
it.
but still felt far from the end.
Ah, well, you didn't even finish it. That explains a
Ah.
lot.
We also have a minor complaint about one aspect of the game's control. If you're standing still and you swing your whip, you can't jump until the whip has come all the way back to you. Now that's ridiculous, folks.
That's how Castlevania works, Georgie Porgy!
Oh, is
In
it?
fact, if
Okay.
you think the RPG elements don't do anything, why don't you equip a faster weapon to fix this problem?
That is one annoying flaw. So much for realism.
Ah, yes.
And yeah, there's that from
realism.
that moment.
In Dracula's castle with
It's fine. I mean,
fire-breathing
Dracula's a real dude,
three-headed
right?
dogs and old giant rotting men made out of flies. Shame on you,
It's fine.
Castlevania. You aren't realistic enough.
Yep.
Alucard doesn't even work in an office.
The camera will catch Princess Jean in the
Alucard.
shell. As a result, the feisty gal will punch out the lens of the camera. Isn't that a hoot?
Why do I get the impression that this was based on a true story in George's past?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, huh? Punch.
Isn't that a hoot?
Can I also bring attention to the fact that
not.
there are 2 Earthbound reviews that aren't technically duplicates,
Earthbound.
but one of them they did completely wrong, so just kept that one up and then uploaded a correct one?
Well,
Seriously,
it's not
on
the
first
channel
upload,
that did
the audio
this,
just
right?
cuts out completely after George says Burger Shop.
Arcade. Burger Shop.
And they left this upload as it was. Navigator, I love you.
No one buys a game specifically for multiplayer options. Gran Turismo wouldn't be the flop that it is.
So accurate.
Well,
We're all for good stories, but there are some established entities which defy that need. It's like turning Mario into a sports game.
Or there's a lot of
The game would
those.
be better if we were treated with plot development.
have you ever played a Mario game before? Now, if you've been watching this
I
video
haven't
so far,
outside of
I'm
Luigi's
sure that
Mansion
you all
and Mario
noticed
Kart.
the garbage picture quality of these videos, but to be fair, this is something that cannot be helped. You know, it's like paying your taxes. Unless you avoid them.
Not only was this content some of the earliest of its kind, but this was back in the 90s,
taxes.
so you can't really help that everything looks like burned pastry.
The surprising challenge, even on Child's Play, makes this game too hard for the tots, but perfect for the pros.
But I do think they could have done a lot better with the sound mixing.
So he embarks on a mission to collect as many yarn balls as possible.
If there's one thing I love about watching my favorite game reviews, it's when the reviewer is trying to talk to me with the music and the game
Oh, it's too loud, yeah.
at the same time. I don't know about you guys, but it makes me want to take one of these little things
A Q-tip.
and push it right in further to the recommended amount.
Blasto. Yet another wisecracking hero, like Bubsy, Gex.
Bubsy. Oh,
Ah,
Gex.
yes, because
Playing
Tommy
Gex.
is well known for his constant wisecracks. With all of that dialogue he doesn't have.
Buster
I don't know
Brothers
who that
collection
even is.
for the PlayStation. This blast from the past is, well, not worth busting your butt to get. Get it?
No, I
No,
don't get it.
because
Please
Buster-
explain.
Buster Brothers. Bust your butt?
Oh, thank you for that. I was really lost.
Even though it's right in front of you. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
His rants will come in handy on many occasions. Adults will like this brain teaser.
Will they? That's it?
And what? Adults will like this brain teaser and what?
I need
Legend of
more.
Zelda. Not as good as the original for some unknown reason.
You
What do you
can't
mean
just
some
say that.
other
What is it worth? Tell me, Georgie.
Cool, dude. Not.
By the way, can somebody explain the difficulty rating section of the reviews to me? Because I don't get it.
Take the Bugs Life review. 1 second he says,
The gameplay is very simple. You might
But
beat
it's
the game
difficult.
in one sitting.
then in the next breath he says,
The frustrating control has you fumbling around.
but then the difficulty is rated E. Does this mean
For
an E
everyone?
rank is too easy? Does it mean it's too hard? Does it mean it's unfair? Does it mean it's too imbalanced? Help me, Georg.
You are stupid.
Okay, George,
Wow.
you didn't have to be mean. Why didn't feel like to say that? I really hurt my feelings.
And how about here
This
in the
channel.
Armored Core review?
All you do is kill enemy robots. That task is
Cool.
usually way too easy, despite the very poor play control.
So it's way too easy, and yet you give the difficulty a C? What scale are we
What?
working at?
We do
Yeah.
not review this title as a game. It's not a game. It's an interactive music experience.
Well, if that's the case,
Cool.
then why did you bother rating any of this? There is
Spice
no
World,
gameplay,
oh.
so how can the difficulty be rated a B?
But with the guide, we were able to beat the game in one 4-hour sitting without saving.
So wait, you give the challenge an A ranking, which I guess means the challenge is high, but how can you say that when you outright admit that you just followed a guide and finished the game in 4 hours?
Georgie, Porgy, Pudding and Pie kissed the girls and made them
Cheater video games.
We changed our challenge
Oh,
rating
Crash
of the game to a
Bandicoot?
C, mainly because we beat it
No.
unexpectedly.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
That sentence right there sums up everything.
I thought it might have been
perfect about this
Banjo-Kazooie.
show. They so rarely ever beat the games that they review that it surprises them when they do.
We want to show you the entire game, but
Rugrats.
unfortunately, we just don't have the time.
He couldn't even beat Search for Reptar. The game takes 45 minutes.
Yeah, this
What?
is it, lads, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I don't want this anymore. It's sending me. I've been sent.
We're not quite sure if we'll ever beat this one.
I mean, look, if
But
you're stuck on the
Hercules?
easiest level of Disney's Tarzan,
We could not pass the Stampede level without
Why?
cheating and using the Game Shark.
then you probably shouldn't be left to review Contra 3. That's all I'm saying.
And you should
I don't know
not
what
have
that
to
is.
jump onto a vine to get it moving. Anyone who's ever climbed a rope knows you can wiggle your body and get it moving very quickly.
What are you talking
mean,
about?
kind
you
of.
can do that. Did you try pressing the move
Oh,
buttons
wow.
while you were there?
Wow.
No, the buttons that make you move.
First of all,
Okay,
lower
that's
the
fair.
difficulty level to 1 star and change
What?
the number of rounds to 1.
Imagine if nowadays you had to read a review from a journalist that couldn't beat a tutorial level. level. Damn! This is exactly what watching gaming in the Clinton years is like. It's like you're watching a carpenter.
Yeah, people complain about my gameplay
repeatedly while complaining about the fact that he didn't buy any nails.
I mean, just look at this Johnny. He's right next to the base easiest enemies in Doom 1, and yet doesn't fire back until a good 3 seconds later. And then when playing ODT on PS1, he decides, you know what? I'm just gonna run right off the edge of the cliff and blame the game for it.
Falling off cliffs is rather easy when the camera doesn't show them to you in time.
Did George play all of his games blindfolded?
It is unknown whether
maybe.
the actual gameplay is more like Tomb Raider or Doom.
Okay, maybe he didn't. Maybe he's just blind.
Ever since Tekken, swords and axes have become a staple in fighting games.
Oh yeah, because Tekken 1 is so well known for their characters with weapons. All 2 of them.
Like
but neither of those are
George is
axes.
also quite infamous for going completely off the rails about anything.
Just get over it. This is the age of South Park. We don't like South Park, but we do like Resident Evil 2.
Like in this review
my
of
first
All-Star
Resident Evil game, but it was the
Baseball
remake.
99, where he gets quite irate about the
Fleer.
names of
Wow,
one of the
remember
stadiums.
that.
Why does every game, with the exception of Ken Griffey Baseball for the N64, list the Baltimore Orioles Stadium as Baltimore Stadium? They have the correct name, so what's the deal? Are the Orioles so pig-headed about the use of Oriole Park at Camden Yards that they only let Nintendo use the name? That really stinks.
Might be a naming
I don't know
rights
what he's talking
issue.
about. Maybe it's very serious and political. But come on, dude, I'm not going to boycott a
licensing?
video game because the name of a baseball stadium isn't correct.
The Orioles have the sun on the top of the scoreboard. Instead, this game has an imitation, El Sol. Another title, Griffey Baseball, has the sun.
Okay, well, now I'm boycotting it.
We had a lot of fun creating 3 fat black ladies fighting 1 skinny white turd.
You can head towards the waterfall and listen as it gets louder and louder.
Okay, well, that's pretty technical, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen a game do faded audio before.
In
Never
Super Mario
once.
64,
Never
you
once.
can do just about anything. It is, in fact, like jumping into the movie Toy Story.
Okay.
Oh god, I mentioned it, didn't I?
Oh,
the
Toy Story.
review. This is one of the more popular ones on the channel. and
That's
for good
so many
reason.
views.
It's completely psychotic.
When you pop in this game, the first thing you notice
What
is
year
the
is
poor
this?
ending on Woody.
Oh yeah?
The poor.
That's the first thing you notice.
What are they doing to
You will
Woody?
not get a 7-minute review for Toy Story as a game. Instead, you get an incoherent and disconnected rant all about Silicon Graphics computers, and it's just as enthralling as it sounds.
The Toy Story movie was done with Silicon Graphics computers. We don't know, however, if the game actually used Silicon Graphics computers.
Why
didn't Disney Interactive use Silicon Graphics computers? Disney Interactive did not use SGI computers.
What
Donkey
is-
Kong Country was
what even
created
is that?
with Silicon Graphics computers. Silicon Graphics computers.
Then we once again roll around to the fact that the game is too hard and that you have to cheat, and apparently...
This cheating brings victory much too quickly to warrant spending your money. People don't spend $60 on a game they know
60?
they can beat.
So if that's the case, then why do you complain when a game is too hard? By your logic, doesn't that mean the game was worth the money? George, you've got to cut out the aspirin. Your brain is getting confused, and you're starting to look like Chandler Bing.
Speaking of action figures, take a look at this one. It's a takeoff of Blanca from Street Fighter 2. Also notice the similarities to other Street Fighter characters on the package design. Aha! We caught these guys ripping off Capcom. Anyway, let's get back to Toy Story.
I think George was grown in a tube.
The real star is the level design.
Is
Laura
it?
would have nothing to do but inflate herself.
Speaking of inflation, in his Pandemonium 2 review, he even goes completely off on one about Nikki's chest size, and it's glorious.
She's much more, well, endowed. I wonder if there's a limit to the size of those things. I guess there's no limit to the imagination. The knobs in question are noticeably bigger. The game itself depicts your character too small to see anything major.
What are you on? And could
Why
give
are
me
you
some
talking
please,
about
because
this?
I want whatever makes you give Cool Spot nearly a 10 out of 10.
Play it loud and
Why?
stereo.
Also,
dude.
why is he
Boy,
going
what do you think you'll say
numerical
about the
grading
Virtual
versus
Boy? I bet he tears this
alphabetical?
thing a new one. Go on then.
Red Alarm is the best Virtual Boy game there is. Red Alarm is a 3D flight game that mesmerizes all who play it.
Oh, come on, man. Look at this. You can like it if you want, but this is objectively terrible. It's a load of transparent lines.
The depth of the 3D graphics is outstanding. You will perceive
Virtual
real
Boy.
distances.
How could you
Well, kind of,
possibly
I think.
perceive any kind of depth with no textures? How are you seeing depth? Are you a being of corporeal form? What does George think of Formula 1 on PS1? Well, he thinks that it shouldn't have been a simulation game, and then asks this question that's on everybody's mind.
Why not have a game where you have to find and drive to the hospital before your wife delivers her baby?
Did you see that?
Why
coming?
did he
We
mention?
get sick of running into walls just because these kids can't walk right.
Maybe, maybe not. You might get a kick out of it.
Oh, so that's why he wants a game about driving his pregnant wife to the hospital, because as soon as the baby's born, he can beat it.
Why people actually spend $80 to beat a bunch of sprites into the ground
$80
when they can do it for free on a real live human being?
Okay,
we got that.
Watch out, everybody. George is inciting domestic violence. George
yep,
is
literally.
Everyone's not safe anymore.
Sometimes he doesn't even need to go off the rails during the review.
See, there we go with the rating.
Totally off his nut. Like with the Final Fantasy VIII review, when he starts the entire thing off by saying,
I hope one of the lovers dies.
Or in the Star Fox video where he starts off saying,
Andros will be by far the most awesome villain you'll ever encounter in any
Never heard
video
of
game. He will remind you of Stephen King's The Lawnmower Man.
Or in the Ocarina of Time video that may be lumped in with the rest of the reviews and titled exactly the same way, but begins like this.
Our review of Zelda won't air until mid-January.
In many, many, many occasions, George even begins videos as reviews for about 20 seconds or so, and then just gives up and gives you a walkthrough, or a cheat code to skip to the ending. Tiny Toons, Pinocchio, Mega Man X, Jurassic
Why are
Park,
these
Mickey
games
Mania,
anyway?
King of Monsters 2, Joe and Max, Secret of Mana, The Mask, Super Star Wars, Bugs Bunny, Rabbit Rampage, all of these and more are structured exactly like this.
And out of the entire catalogue of videos on offer, I could only find one in this particular style I'm about to look at. A versus video. Now, if
Versus
I told
who?
you I was going to pit Super Mario 64 against any other video game of that time period, what in the world do you think it would be?
No idea.
Take a guess.
I couldn't tell you.
Did you say Resident Evil? Because that's what they did.
It seems as though the battle between the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation will be directly related to players' choices between Super Mario 64 and Resident Evil.
Oh yes, because
That's
these
the
games
same
are just
thing.
so similar that all of the people out there will only pick one
Oh,
or
dude,
the
I
other
do
of their
not
platforming
miss the
things.
cameras
Which
of
is
Resident
better?
Evil 1.
Well, let's go through this point by point.
Oh god, I can't wait to see what you pull out of your hole here.
Mario has camera motion during gameplay, but Evil only has it during the hands-off cinema scenes.
You can never move the camera in Resident Evil.
Evil has real voices
No.
for its characters, but Mario and his
can.
friends are mute.
What the hell are you talking about?
Resident
Mario
Evil 2
never shuts up
wasn't
in
it the
that
same?
game.
Hello! Game over. Ravioli.
Did you play Mario 64, or did you
I did
watch
not.
the beginning of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Mario doesn't require you to solve impossible puzzles to win the game, but Evil has you solve tons of them.
That's the
Actually,
game.
You won't solve tons of them. The game is virtually impossible without the hint book.
There's a playlist on my channel of me
Can
playing through
you
Resident
do
Evil 2.
basic math?
My first time playing Resident Evil
Can
2.
you add
It's terrifying.
2 and 3 together?
You 4.
Because if you can do that, you've solved the puzzles in Resident Evil.
So what's the bottom line?
Oh, is that it? Is that all we're comparing? We're at the bottom line already? Okay, cool. See
Nothing
you next
else.
week, George. And by the way, apparently the platforming game Mario 64 is better than the survival horror game Resident Evil, in case you were wondering.
Huh.
But we are really sick of Nintendo 64 games having no dialogue.
And real voices make Mario 64 more than worthy of your time.
Nothing at all. It's disgraceful.
And the contradictions, my Christ, the contradictions. Half the time, I don't even know if I should buy the game or not.
At least it's harder than the piece of cake Mario 64. That little chore is extremely difficult. Stars are hidden everywhere.
I had
And I'm
somebody
not
tell me
talking
I
about
pronounced
contradictions
Yoshi
between
wrong,
the writing
even
and
though
the
that's how he
gameplay,
pronounces it
like
in the game.
Newman Haas Racing, where George complains that the game is way too easy because all the tracks are way too straight.
90% of the tracks are straight, resulting in a very low challenge level.
Only to then drive dead straight.
Is
into
this
a bend
Formula
and
1
pick
or
up on the
IndyCar?
game. I'm talking about the contradictions in his own sentences that he writes during the same reviews.
Everything about this game is top-notch. The game is virtually impossible to beat, making it overwhelmingly frustrating for younger players.
Okay, so is
Dude.
Einhander any good?
This title could very well be the best shooter ever made.
That sounds good if it's
That-
the best shooter ever made.
that's a
Maybe I'll give
shooter?
it a try.
While not as fun as Star Fox 64.
Oh, never mind.
The most
Okay,
exciting
well-
part of the Indiana Jones game is the cinema scenes. They're amazing.
It's just the picture.
What?
That's a meme,
Still
actually.
images.
boring interstate scenes.
Oh, okay, don't worry. Apparently still images are now terrible.
While the dual stick control is ideal for situations like the rowboat, it seems unnecessary for actions like swinging a net to capture wayward monkeys. Swimming controls are way too fancy and cumbersome for their own good.
Oh, thank God you told me that. I was about to spend 50 quid on the game this weekend.
The control isn't bad, perhaps not even awkward.
But no matter how many contradictions you come across, nothing will prepare you for the Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon.
Millennium? I've never even seen Star Wars, but I know
Or
it's the
when gaming in
Millennium
the Clinton
Falcon.
years believes in an opinion so
Come on now.
strongly that they stick to it despite all of the backlash, and then have to make another video addressing the angry fans. Such as
who was watching this?
The original review.
How did they have angry responses?
Quite tame, especially considering how beloved
Dude,
that
the mission
game was
abridged
when it first
of
came
Final
out.
Fantasy
They basically
7.
say that the game from a
I reacted. I'm gonna show it to
design
Kirby
standpoint is exactly the same
in a
as the
couple
previous
months, I
ones,
think.
that the story isn't massively engaging, and that the sound and music aren't very good. All fine opinions to have, even if you disagree with them, but the funniest thing about these two videos together is that the original review was presented by a totally different person.
Square certainly had to make some sacrifices to make Final Fantasy VII a reality.
And then George rides in on his shiny white steed, ready to defend those opinions in the second video, which says to me that he wrote the original review, knew that it would get hate, and so hid behind another presenter for the video review, and then got in a big fight with
there was a team of people on this?
The backlash, forcing George to come on with an apology video. To be fair to the guy, though, he stands by all the original points they made and even expands on them a little more, so fair play to them for not backing down.
That's
and
true.
to see him say this with a totally straight face makes it worth watching all on its own.
Final Fantasy VII is far from the near masterpiece that game critics and fans have been calling it.
Yeah, suck it, nerds!
Whoopty freaking lie.
I've never played it. I
One
just
of my
did the
personal
mission
favorite
abridged.
comments he ever makes, though, is in the Star Fox review, where he says,
"The play control is so good that you'll actually notice how good it is."
You don't say. You don't say.
The control is so good that you'll notice it.
Password will allow you to start the game with everyone saved except Morticia.
Okay, seriously,
What?
what is the point in giving anybody a review if all you're gonna do is ignore the entire game except the very ending?
With the code STCJDH.
Just to say that they beat it?
To stage 16 and encounter the Queen Woolies.
You can't call yourself a gardener if you jump over your neighbor's fence,
And
steal
steal
their
the-
flowers, and then plant them in your own garden.
Even
mean,
though Bubsy is easy, the
maybe.
game is still excellent.
Well, first of all, you like Bubsy. And second of all, of course the game is easy
You
because
mentioned
you
Bubsy's
tried the first
last
level,
week.
died over and over again, and then skipped to the final one. Is this person real?
The Addams Family has got a cool ending.
What?
If you use
How
the
did they
password,
spend their
you'll
time?
get there in no time flat.
Dude, you've
How did they
essentially
spend their
spent
time?
$60 to look at a load of rinky-dink 16-bit fireworks that look like spit. Why are you so proud of yourself?
Maui Mallard is fun and easy, and with passwords for each of the 8 levels, the game goes quickly.
8 levels?
Well, of course it goes by quickly because you skipped all of it.
A classic for the Super NES, but easy to beat with a code.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, wow,
Is
really?
it easy to beat the game? With a code?
Really?
You don't say?
We're not
Really?
sure, but we suspect there are
Video games
14
used to have
worlds
codes.
with 3 levels each.
Well, there you go. You see, if you keep skipping the entire game, you're stuck with just guessing how many levels the game has. You can't do that.
That will send you straight to Dracula without playing any of the levels.
I don't want to go
Jesus
straight to
Christ, I think I'm
Dracula.
going mad.
This same code will give you 5 lives.
Oh, great. I've always wanted to know how to get fine lives.
Cute. But again, cheating spoils all the fun.
So don't cheat.
But they're gonna
then,
do it
you
anyway.
muppet.
2 secrets in the first level can destroy the otherwise outstanding difficulty level.
You don't need to use the cheats. Is someone forcing you? Are you addicted? Do I need to call a helpline?
The only way
Maybe?
to win is to cheat.
Only way to win is
And
to
when it comes
cheat.
to this
Don't
marathon
cheat.
video of quick Super Nintendo game reviews that he does, my god, the cheating comments are so plentiful, it's borderline a parody video. I actually don't know if this was a joke or not.
You can cheat to see all the endings, a breeze to beat, but only if you cheat. You can win
Oh,
fairly
bruh.
easily by cheating. Beating the game
Yeah,
is a piece of
imagine
cake with the hints. Expect
with
to
the
win
hints,
only
that's
with major
different.
cheating. Really hard to beat without the codes. Hard to beat even with codes. You've got to cheat to win.
And on occasion, if he doesn't decide to skip the entire game he's reviewing, he'll just use demo footage from the boot up screen because he can't play Spot Goes Hollywood or give such useful hints like,
To succeed in this battle, you must avoid the boss effectively and hit him many times.
gee,
Wow,
thanks. I
what?
didn't realize I was supposed to hit the boss and not get hit by the boss.
Bad players will think the play control is poor.
Will
while
they?
good players will think the play control is good.
Gee,
Really?
thanks. I didn't realize I had to learn the controls before I got good at the controls.
The key to success
That's a crazy
is
thing
to
to think.
reload anytime you're not shooting.
Gee,
Yes.
thanks. I didn't realize you had to reload your gun to get more bullets.
Doom it.
Press triangle to capture the cubes. Press triangle to capture the cubes. Press triangle to capture the cubes. Press triangle to capture.
Whoa!
The small team at Gaming
That
in the Cubes
Pokemon-
even
oh,
tried
what are you gonna
their
do to
hand at adding
Pokemon?
their own voices to some video games cutscenes to show us just how funny they
Oh
were.
no.
5 seconds till self-destruct. 4, 3, 2,
Guys,
1.
I think we should take the time door.
No.
That's a good idea. Let's go.
They're just doing a countdown.
Good idea. Let's go.
What?
Now.
You're too late.
Help me!
The fact that there was at least 3 people working on
a lot
this.
of the jokes that these guys tried to execute throughout these near 300 reviews.
I'm starting to get the heebie-jeebies.
And where I do indeed understand that comedy is subjective,
you know how we love lame humor.
I personally found myself laughing at every single one of them.
The bugs are bugging him, which is ironic because the bugs are bugging a bug.
But not for the reasons they want.
A trapdoor opens up and I'm thrust into the depths of the basement of this old, disgusting, roach-infested building.
Whoa.
Just kidding.
Whatever happens, though, this is still public television we're working on, so we have to cut down on the profanities.
That snow speeder kicks a major you-know-what.
Okay, so before I go clinically insane, I think it's about time that we wrap up gaming in the Clinton years. And boy, what a trip that was. I won't lie, shifting through the mud of over 1,300 videos to pick out 287, but then watching 555 in total to make sure that the copies were actually copies. Yeah,
the fact you had to do that.
Melting, but I hope you got a laugh out of it, because I sure did. And again, do not harass anybody over this.
Yeah, don't
this video is
do
not a
that.
hate campaign, because let's be honest, the more hate you send towards people like this, the less that we'll see of it in the future.
Exactly, we want to see it in the future.
Let people express themselves, because otherwise you won't have anything to cringe at, will you?
Exactly.
Namco Museum Volume 5 does include a kinky, kind of cool gallery.
Did George just let slip that he thinks the Pac-Man Museum is kinky?
Doug Miro called that a quirking feature.
As far as George Wood himself goes, though, well, I don't know what he's up to. The dude has basically no internet footprint, and now he looks like Conan O'Brien on bath salts. There's a few relatively recent interview videos floating around, and the Navigator channel tried doing this weird alternate reality game thing related to him, but I don't have a clue what any of it's about. Something to do with HD editions of full episodes of gaming in the Clinton years, I'm not sure. But then again, just like George Wood's fantastic reviews, I don't want to be sure.
Kayla, you probably knew all about this.
Easy to beat. Or is it?
I want to be left in the dark. I want to be confused, because it's more fun that way. And it makes this show seem all the more like a lost episode creepypasta that aired on TV, scared everyone, and then disappeared forever. Did
That's
George
better.
Wood even exist? Is he real?
The lack of chasmic jumps. Chasmic may not be a real word, but it should be.
Your guess is as good as mine.
And before I go, I'm going to show to you now, in its entirety, the best review on this channel. Enjoy.
Oh no, gaming in the Clinton years. Beep, blurp, kaboom. I'm pretty sure those are real pictures.
And remember, everybody,
if you don't play this game, you're not a true gamer.
Wow, okay.
Subscribe and hit that bell.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I need validation.
Special thanks to my executive producers on my Patreon page in the description below. Matthew Hubble, TARDIS Type 40, Exopaz, Brandon Butler Williams, Ramen Wolf 1485, Red-Eyed Critic,
this is something.
Thornton Smith, Mitchell Reed, Fart Rules, Skullman, Basil.
So how many of you
Alex,
gamed in the
Shadow
Clinton
Hunter,
years?
FedEx, The Game Shed, Slowpunk, Stephen LeBlanc, and Calvin Koskela.
Stan, having no hair made me look hairier.
Nope, does not care. I need to look up this channel to see how many subscribers they have. Don't do this stupid thing where you connect. Okay. For some reason, whenever I open up my phone and my Xbox is on for recording videos, Navigator. Wait, why is the channel not possible? It's just possible with videos. Do I need to click on? Fine, I'll click on a video. I will watch one video. Toy Story, of course. That's the #1 thing. 813. They have 14,700 subscribers, which is a lot of people, but like, you would think after this video 4 years ago having 3.7 million views. When's the last time they uploaded? 16 years ago. They haven't uploaded a video in 16 years. Their brake can drive a car. 1,300 videos. How many videos am I up to on just this channel? 3,600 on just this channel, and I lost hundreds of videos and what? God, I don't even know how many videos are on the other channels. A lot. There's a lot of videos. I've done a lot of videos. I do this a lot. Shout out to the patrons, because I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for them. I would not have gotten this far if it wasn't for the patrons, so shout out to them. They get all the videos a day early. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to the next one. Let me know what it should be, because I got this from the comment section of the last video, and that's how I know what the next Caddicarus video should be, is based off of, you know, kind of what's the most liked comment in the comment section of this video. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I do look forward to the next one. I hope to see you there. Also, we are so close to 100,000 subscribers, which is insane to even think about, but I hope you enjoyed it. But until next video, take care and keep the music.
We were playing